Night stretched across the land. The wind would not rest. No one knew history was about to change forever.
The sky looked ordinary. That is how strange days often begin, without permission, without warning, without spectacle. Morning fires were already burning, clay vessels were already filled, sandals pressed into dust the same way they had the day before. Animals were let out, tools were lifted, voices carried across stone walls. Nothing suggested that this day would refuse to behave like the others. And yet, before the sun reached its usual height, something subtle shifted. Not an explosion, not a storm, not a sign people could point at and name, just a feeling, almost too quiet to trust, that time itself had slowed its breathing. Men were already moving across the valley floor. Armor leather creaked, sand shifted under weight. The air carried that dry stillness that comes before violence. Commanders gave signals. Runners carried words that would decide who lived past midday. War, at that time, was measured by the sun. Battles began in light and ended in shadow. Strategy depended on daylight. Survival depended on knowing how long you could stand. That was the agreement humans had with the sky. And agreements feel permanent until they break. The sun rose higher, and then it stopped. Not suddenly, not with drama. It simply remained, suspended in a place it should have already passed. At first, no one noticed. Humans rarely detect the moment patterns break. They detect the discomfort that follows. A soldier shielded his eyes. He had been watching shadows to estimate the hour. That's how he knew when to conserve strength. But the shadows were wrong. They stretched too long. They refused to shorten. He looked again. The sun had not moved. Confusion did not stop the fighting. Confusion rarely does. It only makes decisions heavier. Orders continued. Blades struck. Feet slipped and dust turned dark with effort. But something invisible had entered the field. Time had stopped behaving correctly. And once time becomes unreliable, every action feels uncertain. Miles from the battlefield, life continued. A woman ground grain between stones. Her hands moved in rhythm learned from her mother. Children argued near a well. Goats tugged against rope. Routine is the human defense against the unknown. She paused, noticing the light. It felt like afternoon, but the shadows still spoke of morning. She looked up, not in fear, just in confusion. No language existed for what she was seeing, so she returned to her task. Humans do not stop because reality shifts. They adjust their expectations quietly and keep moving. For generations, the sky had been reliable. It marked planting, travel, rest, war, worship. Its movement was law without voice, and law creates confidence. That day, the law bent. Nothing collapsed. Walls stood, markets functioned, yet certainty loosened its grip on the mind. The change was not loud, it was quiet, and that made it harder to understand. Hours passed, or what felt like hours. Muscles trembled, throats dried, breath grew sharp. Battles were never meant to last this long under direct sun. Bodies are built for limits. Time enforces those limits. But now, the limit had vanished. Victory and exhaustion blurred together. A commander realized the danger, not from the enemy, from the sky. Because once natural cycles fail, human planning fails with them. Control had always been an illusion. This day exposed it. Birds circled confused. They relied on light angles for direction. Now the signal remained fixed. Animals sense disruption before humans understand it, yet even they did not flee. They adjusted, restless but present. Life was continuing under conditions it did not understand. The strange thing is, no one stopped. No one gathered to declare the sky broken. No one froze history in its tracks. Work continued, war continued, breath continued. Because humans are not built to pause reality, they are built to endure it. Uncertainty did not end the day. It only changed how decisions felt. None of them knew this moment would be remembered. They were not trying to be part of history. They were trying to survive a day that felt longer than it should. To them, it was confusion. To the future, it would become mystery. History rarely feels historic while it's happening. Eventually, slowly, the sun resumed its path. Shadows shifted again, lengths corrected. The agreement between earth and sky seemed restored. But something had changed. Not in the sky, in the people. They had seen certainty bend. And once you see that, you never fully trust stability again. No monuments marked the moment. No one wrote, "Today time failed." They simply went home, exhausted beyond explanation. And the world moved forward. But somewhere in memory, passed through generations, remained the story of a day that refused to end. Not as proof of power, not as spectacle, but as a reminder. Reality is steadier than we deserve, until, for a moment, it isn't. And humans, as always, continue anyway.